What are you talking about this morning?
Good morning, Franklin County. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my position in the Franklin County Democratic Party so you can get an idea of where I fit into this whole political stage, I guess. I'm the vice chair of the Franklin County Party. Bob Zimmerman is the chairman, and I'm also a licensed attorney in the state of Tennessee. And really happy to be here so I can discuss some of these issues regarding the party and also recruitment. I've seen some issues there for sure. I think people maybe they don't know what's required to be a political person as far as like a commissioner, what's required to qualify as a county commissioner, school board member, road commissioner, and also constable. Those are some of the seats coming up for re-election in the 2018 cycle. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that so that people are more knowledgeable about what issues come before those governing bodies and what their individual responsibilities would be under those titles. So, and also the Democratic Party itself, the slogan this year is level the playing field. And the values are, and this information comes from the state party. We believe in increasing the minimum wage based on the cost of living gradually to $15 per hour. Now, and there's some issues with that. I encountered those whenever I was working as a minimum wage earner in, 1994, making $4.25 an hour, and they increased the minimum wage to $5.25. And I remember, even though I had worked at a place for nearly 2 or 3 years and was making $4.75, $5 then, the new people that came on that were hired after the minimum wage increase they were making $5.25 an hour, and my pay was at $5.25 an hour, despite the fact that I had experience. I'd been with the industry, and I think that that's a real issue. Also, these senior employees need to be paid commensurate with the minimum wage increase. If it's $1.75 that you're given in an increase, those senior employees should also get a $1.75 raise. That's how you level the playing field in that regard. Also, the Democratic Party believes in extending the Family Leave Act with paid sick and family leave. This is also a big concern of mine because I have a small child, and it's difficult to go to work when you have 2 people working in the home. Usually it falls on the mother to stay at home with the child, and it's chronic sometimes. You're out of work a week, because after you take care of the child that's sick for about 2 or 3 days, you get sick. So you have to take 2 or 3 days off work. So it's a huge issue, especially now since we have a lot of women in the workplace. And also equal pay, as everybody knows. I saw a lot of this in court whenever we did the parenting plans and child support calculations. We usually would assess the minimum wage as the woman's wage, and then the male would be different and higher. And I'm like, that is a sure indication that it still exists, and inequality. Also, a big issue for the Democratic Party is affordable/universal health care. Expand Insure Tennessee. There's a big issue about that, and the people are dying because they don't have access to affordable health care. I know that the Trump administration rolled back the requirement that individuals would be fined if they were not insured under the Obamacare, but still, people are going bankrupt to get medical care, or they're just dying. And we need to take care of people better than that in this great country of ours. Also, to protect Social Security so people can retire with dignity, so that they have the financial means to support themselves if they choose to live in their homes without going to a nursing home because they're indigent, or going to live with a family member because they don't have the financial means to pay their basic bills, utilities. So that's definitely some of the issues that the Democratic Party from Tennessee stated that dictates our platform. I'm going to talk more about that. Those are actually more our values. These are going to be the platform. The state came out and there was a vote on 3 issues. One was to support the Medical Marijuana Act. There's been some real issues back and forth, especially since there's 33 states who have medical marijuana legislation in place and have been in place since 1994 at the earliest. It goes back to Arizona. California started in the 90s, and they allowed patients to grow their own marijuana and make their own medicine. And now we have Big Pharma making synthetic THC medicine for the masses at a profit of $500 million, and that's been going on since 1985. And when they started the war on drugs, thank you, Reagan, just say no. But, we're not saying that this is recreational for now in Tennessee, but there are 8 states in the country that have legalized recreational marijuana. And I believe the last poll was 63% of Americans believe that marijuana should be legalized. And I'm proud to say I'm one of those. And another thing, under Schedule 1, the Federal Controlled Substance Act, there's some concern about whether or not it needs to be challenged because, number one, the drug cannot have any medical benefit or value. That's how it's phrased. And we know that marijuana does. It treats different ailments. I believe that the pharmaceutical company that sells the Meridol, it's nausea and appetite for cancer patients, and a host of other things. I think AIDS patients, it helps them with their appetite. Marinol. And so there are some documented medical research that's been done that would say that it needs to be descheduled. The regulation needs to be removed by the feds, and also state law. In Tennessee, I know it's a Schedule 6, and also the propensity for abuse is also a huge issue under the criminal codes. And I think that the World Health Organization just came out in December and stated that there was no indication that CBD, which is a cannabinoid just like THC, is highly addictive. So as soon as this body of research expands, I think that the possibility will increase that finally we'll get somewhere on, medical marijuana and recreational, so we can be less dependent on pharmaceutical companies. Even in states with recreational marijuana have reported a decrease of 25%, which is significant, of opioid addiction in those states. Tennessee has a real problem. Actually, the whole country has a real problem, and this is a problem that cuts across economic lines. So we just really need to think about whether or not, we should take a chance on cannabis. And it's not just marijuana. There's 33 states that have passed legislation for the production of hemp. That's also a cannabis plant, and that's where you're going to derive the cannabinoids. And it also has medicinal value. And not only is THC and CBD the only cannabinoids, there's like 98 more in marijuana or a cannabis plant. And it's just unreal that Reefer Madness and all these programs against drugs, which I'm not for drug legalization, cocaine, opioids. I think we have a real problem with pill mills as far as opioids are concerned, but I don't think that marijuana is a gateway drug. I don't subscribe to any of that propaganda, and I think that that's we're going to have to move away from that in order to move forward. And as far as the hemp plant's concerned, there's 25,000 different uses for hemp, and treating cancer is one of them, and epilepsy in children. And I'm not just saying this. There's 30-something states who have already legalized the possession of CBD for these purposes. We have a law on the books in Tennessee that allows possession under certain medical necessity in the state of Tennessee, and that's mirrored all across the country. And I challenge anyone to tell me that it doesn't have medicinal value if there's not a pharmaceutical company producing it, making $500 million a year off of synthetic marijuana, and now they're trying to come out with a CBD product. So I want to urge everybody I want to challenge you to rethink the Reefer Madness and all these other programs that the government came up with to deter people from being pro-marijuana, and rethink the whole thing and determine, what's the best for our country and our people. And next I want to talk a little bit about, and just not put the benefits aside, the tax money that this recreational marijuana is bringing into Colorado, Oregon, and Washington State is just unbelievable. I mean, millions and millions of dollars that are being pumped into their economy for their schools, community programs, education about drug abuse, environmental restoration, law enforcement, and it's just amazing that they're able to use this money to make a better community and a stronger state. So that's something to consider also, is how we be able to accomplish our goals with just declassifying cannabis. So we're having a huge election cycle in 2018. In Tennessee, we've got a lot of seats coming up for re-election. The county commission, for example, there's 16 seats available. I think we have, 7 Democrats running, and we need about 9 more that are interested. And then the constable that I was talking about, there's 8 districts in Franklin County, so there's 8 opportunities for someone to become a constable. And I'm not sure that people know what a constable is. I'm not sure I knew what a constable was, so I looked it up. And a constable is someone who actually is doesn't have the certification for being a police officer, but has arrest powers. So what they do is they can serve process on defendants in lawsuits. The complaint, they make out affidavit of complaints because they have arrest powers. They can serve evictions and just a host of other things. Now, I will say that they don't get paid any money for that, but as a private process server, or even a process server in general, I think there's $40 that's allotted for that service, so they would be able to get that $40. Now, you can do that as a private process server and not be a constable, but you don't have arrest powers. So if anybody wanted to be law enforcement and never passed the certification or never took it, it's a good way to do that. So hopefully we can get some people interested in being a constable. Road commissioner. Now, they're responsible for administrative, supervisory, and technical work of the Public Works Department of the county. Highway and road maintenance, construction, snow removal, etc. So those, I think there's 8 of those coming up too. Not sure how many Democrats are running for those positions, but we'd be happy to hear from you if you're interested in running for commission. That's actually a huge job, but with great benefits. You get to determine budgets, allocation of monies to different county projects. Let's say the expansion of the jail, for instance, the new middle schools. You get to actively be involved in those planning sessions. They're talking about a new rec center for Franklin County. That's exciting. But there's a lot more than that. They have committees. I think there's executives, special meetings, all kinds of different work sessions. And there are laws that govern these different positions. And the county commission in particular has to be in compliance with the Open Meetings Act. But other than that, I'm pretty sure that you get immunity. Governmental immunity is available. So if anybody's concerned about legal liability, don't worry. Because immunity says the government, unless it's for gross negligence of a county official, is immune from liability. They don't have to be accountable to the constituency. So good news on that end for anybody that wants to be a county official or a constable or a road commissioner or other county government. So if you want to be a county commissioner, you should consider that it may be 15 hours per month is all that would be required for you to be that. And there's no job experience or education that's required. You need to be knowledgeable about the issues, as far as the budget and financial issues and the allocation of the funds, maybe grants. Training program is provided. You have to be older than 21 years of age, a 1-year resident in the county, and a registered voter. So, and this is pretty much the same for most every position, except I think the President of the United States. You have to be over 40 years of age and a citizen of the United States, a natural-born citizen. So you don't have to have job experience. People think you have to be a lawyer or, I don't know, a doctor, educator, and that's just not true. You can be a school board member if you're a mother and you have an issue and your child's been bullied at school. And you're thinking, hey, I need to do something about this. It's been an ongoing problem. And I know a lot of people, well, almost everybody I meet homeschooling their children now. I'm like, wow, why? And they're like, well, because of the drugs and the bullying issue at the school. And it just blows me away. That's an administrative problem, and that's something that needs to be focused on at the school board level and implemented in the schools, specifically the principals, vice principals, etc. They need to assess that situation. It's been an ongoing problem. So if you have that issue, then maybe the school board is for you. Also, they allocate monies for certain programs and implement those in the schools. They make different policies and procedures to respond to different situations that school officials may encounter. So that's something to think about. So, and a big issue for me is that the local government has the direct effect on citizens' lives locally. So if there was some position or in some capacity you want to serve, the local capacity is probably the best because they have the direct quality of life decision on your life here at home, your children, yours, everyone you love, your family. So, and you can affect change through those positions. So, get mad, run for office. So if you want more information about it, you can attend meetings, you can learn the issues, find out about Regional Development Center for your area, the region. It's called the Tennessee Association of Commissioners. You can call Bob Zimmerman. Just ask that you have a vision for the county's future, maintain high ethical standards, know the issues, focus on what is best for the county, be honest, and separate your emotions from your responsibilities. If you can do those fundamental things, then you could probably be a pretty good commissioner or school board member. And I spoke with Margaret, I think, over at the Election Commission, and she said that the qualifications, you have to take out a petition to run. So you'd want to get the signature of, well, you're required to get the signature of 25 people from your district. And she recommends that you get 35 signatures just to be safe. So sometimes people aren't in that district and they don't want to tell you or what have you, but those are some of the things that people will run into at the last minute, and we just don't want you to not be able to qualify because you don't have the necessary number of people on your petition. But that's one of the fundamental things you have to do is to have those signatures. And they have to be from your particular district. And you can get a district map from the election office. It's good to note that if you are interested in running for the local May election, that's going to be a deadline of February 15th at noon. So you have to have your petition with all your signatures turned in by that date. And then the state and school board election deadline is April 5th, and that's the August election. And Margaret's going to be at our January 20th Democratic Party meeting at 9 a.m. at the Franklin County Annex, probably the small meeting room, at 9 a.m. on January 20th. She's going to be discussing these issues about how to qualify, what your responsibilities would be, kind of, any questions that you have about it, you can come and bring those to her, and she'd be able to probably answer them better than I can. So there's that. Looks like there's also a May 1st election that's the county commission. County clerk, circuit court clerk, sheriff, trustee, register of deeds, road commissioners, constable, school board. And we have just a ton of seats that are available this year. So if you ever thought about running for office, or if it ever interests you at all, contact somebody, do it. There's no better time than the present to do something that you want to do in your life. So the general election is on November 6th, and the other dates were the primaries for county and state elections. So 2 big elections this year. We have some events that are coming up. Monday, January 15th, at 10 o'clock in Shelbyville, there's a meet at the First Presbyterian Church at 600 North Britton Street in Shelbyville. We're going to be participating in a Martin Luther King Diversity March, supporting one of the organizations that support us, Shelbyville Loves. David Clark, great man in Shelbyville. Well, actually, he's in Coffee County, Tullahoma, and he helped us organize some protests on the square and participated at Walgreens. So we were there you probably saw us out there in Sure, Tennessee. So that was a lot of fun. And honk for support healthcare, Obamacare. So yeah, it was great. So we're asking people to attend in solidarity with Shelbyville Loves. Also, you may remember in October when the Nazis and white supremacists descended on Shelbyville and for their march, and they were there to oppose, and they had a huge turnout. We need to continue to support these efforts. We can't go back. We can't repeat history. It's not progressive. We need to stay focused on our goals and move forward. It has no place here, not in Tennessee, not in the United States, or anywhere for that matter. It's outdated. So that march, again, Monday, January 15th, 10 to 11, First Presbyterian Church in Shelbyville. Come march with us. January 20th, like I said before, we're having our Franklin County Democratic meeting. We're going to do a recruitment workshop. I'll be heading that up and planning events, and we'll have Margaret there. So it's going to be exciting, and we'd like for you to come join us and kind of see what we're about and hopefully get some support and garner some support for our candidates that we're running for these election cycles. January 20th, also the same day as our meeting, there's a Women's March 2.0 in Nashville. Starts at 8 a.m. and goes till 5 p.m. The march is actually 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., and they have work sessions from 8 to 2, I guess. And there's, legislative lobbying, workshops, just a multitude that you can take. I can't remember them all right now, but you can get on Facebook, and there's just a ton of things that you can do to support the women, and you don't necessarily have to be female to attend. We welcome everyone, so get out there and show your support. Also, I wanted to talk about the Tennessee Reconnect program. It is, wow. It's fantastic. I am so proud of Tennessee for passing this legislation. It's the Drive for 55 initiative. 55% of Tennessees with a degree or certification by 2025. Bill Haslam just, knocked it out of the ballpark with this. I mean, you think that 2 years for recent graduates, seniors for school is so phenomenal, but man, Tennessee Promise was just really great, but this Reconnect is phenomenal. So that means that not just 18, 19-year-old kids can go back to school for free, tuition free, so can anyone. It is remarkable, people. Take advantage of this. If you don't have a high school diploma or a GED, get one. Get one now. It's the time, because we've got programs out there. I know that Franklin County has a GED program. I don't have much information about it, but you can call the Franklin County Board of Education at 967-0626, and I'm sure they'd be happy to connect you with the information about going to classes. Also, Motlow has testing the GED test on campus over there, maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and honestly, I was a probation officer before I was an attorney, and I had 70 people on my caseload, and I had 28 of those people in our GED class at our office. And they said, Miss Powers, we know that you're sending all of us. We make up that entire class. And I was like, yes, that is my number one initiative. Everyone will have a GED when I'm done here. So, and but a lot of them, I think 7 graduated and actually got their GED in the 7 months that I was on the job there. And, all they needed was some refresher courses, a little bit of guidance, and walked in the door and success. And you can do that too. And now, after that, you can go to college. You can get a tech degree. A tech degree is worth $23 an hour. Minimum wage is $7.25 right now. If you can make 3 times that amount going for a year and a half to a tech school for free, how awesome is that for your family? It's a wonderful opportunity. I want people to seize it. So there are some requirements, and that's to have a GED or a high school diploma. Fill out the FAFSA, which is the free application for student aid, or free application student financial aid, something like that. If you Google FAFSA, FASFA, it'll populate that at the top. You click on it, start your application, get through it, and send it in. Then you have to have your tax information, Social Security number, basic information like that. There is a couple of deadlines. I think January 16th if you want to qualify for the Tennessee State Assistance Award, and then June 30th for the federal deadline. So you want to make sure to get those in as soon as possible so you can qualify for that money. And that's how you're going to get the free tuition. Most people are like, money? I don't know. I don't know how to take the steps. That is if you don't have a GED or high school diploma, that is your first step. Now, if you have those things already, FAFSA is your first step. So, and everybody has got to fill out the FAFSA, regardless of whether or not you're private pay or public. Everybody has to have that. And then the third thing, you have to send in an application to the school of your choice to qualify. So make sure to do those things. And what I'd like to do with the Democratic Party is organize a FAFSA workshop where interested people come into an already set up area with computer access and internet access, and I'll come around and help people fill out the form and make sure that it's done properly and they qualify and those things. So that's great. I'd like to see a lot of people take advantage of this initiative. It is amazing. I think the only other state that's doing this is New York. So seize the day, Franklin County. And I'm just really excited about our new tech school that's coming. That's going to help our economy and also give our citizens the skills that they need to succeed in manufacturing and other jobs, and easier access. Some people just can't get to Shelbyville to go to school or Motlow campus in Moore County or Smyrna or Fayetteville. So we have them in the surrounding areas, and that's another thing to keep in mind. If you can't go to the Moore County campus, maybe you can make it to the Fayetteville campus or Smyrna. I like to see some carpooling or busing or something take place so that people can take advantage of these opportunities. It's just silly not to. But we want to do some community outreach projects, like I said, with the FAFSA workshop. Want to do some preschool library reading time during their preschool reading. Volunteer maybe with the Meals on Wheels program, and just some other ideas. And if you have any ideas about how we can help the community, please share those with us. We want to be involved. We want to see the change that we want to be in the community at home, because it is the most important for us, because it's where our families live, work, and go to school. So that's kind of my spiel here. I'm really happy to be here to talk to everyone about all these exciting things, just the elections and this initiative and medical marijuana and all the other things that I discussed today. And if you have any questions, my number is 931-636-7146. Be happy to help anybody, qualify to be a Democratic candidate on the ballot, get them on there, and also qualify for that educational opportunity, free tuition, and just anything except legal matters. I'm actually not practicing law right now, so please don't call me about a divorce or child custody or any other issue that you may have about evictions or anything else in that regard, I am happily not taking cases at the moment. But definitely, if I can be of some assistance to anyone in those issues or other matters, please do let me know. I'd like to talk a little bit about when I came into the Democratic Party. Initially, I went to their reorganization meeting on a phone call from somebody. It was like 20 minutes from when I received the call. She said, "Hey, come over here. They have the Democratic reorganization meeting." And I was like, why? And then I thought about it and was like, oh, because there's some initiatives and some other issues that I have personally that hopefully I can bring forth and get more involved in the community and some of those issues, and maybe change some of the local ordinances and I guess the course of our community directives. So I attended, and I was elected the vice chair, and it was the first time I'd ever been to a meeting, and I was like, whoa, okay, now what? But I'll tell you what, I have had the best time and met the best people, and it's just been such a great experience for me. We have some great members, and they're willing to help, and they want to see positive change, and they want to, we share a common goal. So we have that in common, and it's just been wonderful for me. So I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the opportunity, and I'm really excited about the future of our local party.
Amanda, of course, the big meeting you're talking about is coming up on the 20th of this month, right?
That's correct, Al.
And that's going to be in the Franklin County Annex, and you're inviting all Democratic Party members or people that would like to learn more about the Democratic Party.
Absolutely.
And the meeting is going to be to help people that are maybe on the borderline deciding on whether or not they want to run for public office.
That's correct, Al. Hopefully we can get some people there and excited as much as we are about this election cycle and about the change that we can make, and together we can do a lot of things, but alone it's more difficult. But you've got it. That's exactly what we want to do, is invite all Franklin County Democratic members and non-members. If you're Democrat, come see us. Come say hi. Make yourself known.
All right, and that'll be on the 20th. It'll be in the morning.
At 9 a.m.
9 a.m. in the morning time on the 20th. So circle your calendar and get ready for that event. And as you said, there are a lot of, shuffling in the county commission this year, with a new mayor being elected this year. A lot of seats that are people that are vacating to run for mayor that are opening up seats. And so it's a lot of interesting things that are happening in the political realm this year. So it's a chance for you to get out there. And as you mentioned, some very important issues that are coming up down the road is the middle school, solid waste, what's going to be happening there. And also the VOTEC is coming, and how that's going to change the landscape of our county. So there's a lot of big issues that are coming up over the next year in our county, and you need to be involved.
That's right. Get involved. And I say that, Al, because I was at the political forum that you held at the high school last year. Mm-hmm. I was excited to see, the candidates that showed up, but I was really disappointed in seeing all the vacant seats of county members. I was like, where is everyone? And people talk about malfeasance and other problems, but I think a lack of involvement is really the biggest problem in the governmental system. It's because people don't maybe understand the political process or how to get their voices heard on agendas, how they get on the agenda so that they can voice their concerns that they have with school boards and county commissions and city councils. I'll tell you, it's as easy as calling up to the city hall and saying, hey, I have a problem and I want to be heard on the city agenda. Put me on there so I can bring that to the council's attention. And then you just show up and air your concern and have support. Have people come with you. I've been to board meetings, the school board, and nobody's there. And I'm like, wow, where is everyone? I mean, as a mother now, but I don't have a school-age child, but when he is school-age, I want to know what's going on in the schools. Mm-hmm. And if I have a problem, I definitely want to know how to air those concerns. And I think that it's important to empower people to be able to teach them how to be able to do that. And that might be another workshop that I do through the Democratic Party.
Right. Amanda, thanks for coming out and being with us. You've been listening to Common Sense Matters, a program that is sponsored by the Franklin County Democratic Party. And thanks for coming out and being with us.
Thank you for having me, Al. Had a great time.
You're welcome.